Hi everyone, and welcome to this video. As you can see from the introduction, I will be making the blue chevron dress worn by Olivia de Havilland in Gone with the Wind. This is a project that I've been wanting to do for some time, but I've never had all the materials together at the same time. I've either had the taffeta and not the lace, and vice versa. This is one of my favourite dresses from the film, although you don't get to see it very much, literally only seconds. And there's a wonderful story told in an interview by Olivia de Havilland that when they came to film this scene, she was so looking forward to wearing this dress as it was her favourite costume, and that she knew from this point on she would only be wearing plain, boring clothes. So she really wanted to make the most of wearing this beautiful crinoline dress. But unfortunately, when they went to film the shoot, the camera, which obviously are big Technicolor cameras, couldn't get in close enough for the shot. And Olivia de Havilland ended up having to wear the dress without the crinoline, so it just hangs there and you don't get to see the skirt in all its glory. The costume was designed by Walter Plunkett, who is a designer that I greatly admire, and I love his work. He's one of the designers that doesn't load his costumes with bows and frills and sequins and everything. He's more interested in the fabrics that he uses and how they work together, and the cut and the structure of the dress. So his designs are very simple in a way. He also had some favourite colour choices that he always liked to put together, several of which you see in Gone with the Wind, which are pink and black, green and gold, red and white. You can see this in lots of his other films. He designed over 200 films, several of which he was nominated for an Oscar, but he only won one Oscar, which was for An American in Paris. Gone with the Wind is probably his most famous film, but in an interview he said it wasn't the hardest job he had to do, and he's prouder of costumes in other films, particularly those that he made for Raintree County, which is another favourite film of mine and another one he was nominated for an Oscar for. I'm really looking forward to this project, and I hope that you are too, and seeing me going through the making of this dress. As with the Dorothy dress, I will only be using techniques and sewing methods that were used in 1939, so there'll be no machine finishing. The seams will be finished with pinking, the hem will be hand sewn, or the decoration will be sewn on by hand. So let's get on with the video. These are the fabrics for the dress. A blue taffeta for the main dress and all the pleated sections. A cotton lace, which is the trim around the chevrons. And a blue satin for the stripes. This is a fabric that I've had to dye myself because we couldn't find a blue quite the right shade. But I'm still not sure about it because the dye has dyed blotchy, so I'm going to cut the stripes and see how it looks before I make my final decision. This dress is from my collection of Hollywood costumes. It was worn by Jeannie Francis in North and South Book 1. Jeannie Francis and Olivia de Havilland are of a similar height, so I'm using this dress to work out the waist to ground measurement for the Olivia de Havilland dress. I'm going to cut the bodice backing fabric with a rough 1-inch seam allowance, apart from at the centre back, which has 3 inches. I'm going to start cutting the skirt panels. It's made up of 3 drops of the fabric. The length is the measurement that we took over the crinoline of the north and south dress, plus the hem allowance and the allowance at the top to allow for pleating. I'm just using one of my bronze figurines to hold the fabric on the table to stop it sliding everywhere while I'm cutting. I've laid the bodice backing fabric onto the taffeta to cut out the panels. The front panel, this one here, I'm going to cut it slightly bigger than the calico. This is because if you look closely at the picture of the dress, there are 5 tiny hand-sewn tucks at the bottom of the bodice. So I'm going to cut it out, put these tucks in, and then cut the taffeta to the proper size. And that's it for this video. Please join me for the next one, where I will be starting the construction of the dress and all the pleated trimming. Also, if you liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Many thanks for watching. Join me again soon.